kind of work out a deal with Paul. Possibly. All right, young scholars. So today we're doing goal seek and pivot tables. I'm assuming that's Paul's email. So they are the last two homework assignments for the semester. And, you know, if I'm too old and decrepit and you can't hear me, just like last week's, like the other Mike kind of pointed out, they're already here for you to go through. Which one do we want to do first? Goal seek or pivot tables? JJ? Goal seek. All right. So download the goal seek Excel file, which is Excel homework 5. And once you open it, it will look like this. And there's 4 worksheets with different problems in them. So yeah, ideally you'll do these now and submit them like as soon as you can. And then in my break in between this and the web class, I'll grade them, and like unfortunate Drew will be like, oh, I got a 101. I got 8 points I can give away. And Bree will be like, oh, I got a 99. I got 6 points I can give away. One person. So you probably want to bother like unfortunate Drew or Bree. They give away 6 points. And they then disperse those. What do you mean?
So like, let's say someone gives, like, you have a 9, someone gives you like 6 points. Like.
Why would, if you only needed 1 point to go from a 92 to an A, why would somebody give you 6? Yeah. So like unfortunate Drew, let's say he gets a 101. He's got 8 points to give away. Somebody might be at like a 75. And he'd be like, oh, here's 8 points. Bump yourself up to a B. Or what was that? What did you say? B plus? What was the 83? A B?
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, like say you're at a 91 and Owen's at a 95. You might ask him, like, oh, you have 2 points to spare. I only need 2 points. Mike?
89.5 round up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have like a, let's say 89.47, I'll round that up to an 89.5, and that'll be rounded up to a 90. Some people will just truncate the decimal off. I don't do that. Because I also kind of consider, oh, Mike came to the majority of the classes. He deserves this. Any other questions on that? No? Yeah, this isn't like communism, Austin. It's just trying to help, you know, your fellow young scholar. You know, the time of giving, as they say. All right, everybody's got this open and ready to go? Maybe? Yes? No? All right, so in problem 1, we're asked what raise percentage can I give to increase my payroll by $70? So what do we have to do? What do we have to do? Anyone? Shouldn't the first step be trying to figure out what our total payroll is right now? So we know how much it will be with $70 added to it? So how do I do that? How do I calculate pay? JJ? What? Payment? Just our pay. We have two columns that help us calculate our pay. What do we do? Do we multiply Ed by 40? No? What do we multiply? Gabby? Yeah. Our current pay rate by the hours. So $12 times 40 hours gives us our pay before our taxes and our Social Security and our Medicare and everything else that gets taken out. What's the answer, Austin? $480. Okay? What's a simple thing I taught you that you could calculate the other two quickly without having to do anything? Gabby again. Autofill down. Click back into that cell, get the black plus, autofill down. So what do you notice in this example that never happens in real life? Ladies, you should know. No, you don't know? Unfortunate Drew,
Yeah.
I'm the one who brought it up, so you could blame me. The woman's making more than the guys. Only happens in some of the companies I run. Doesn't really happen anywhere else. So how do I get the total pay? Sum it all up. So you could either do equals D2 plus D3 plus D4, or what's another thing I taught you, Reeves, that you could do? Yep, equal sum or the auto sum. What'd you get?
1563 and 75.
1563 and 75 cents. So now what do I do? I want to see if we add $70 to that, what increase or raise can we give to one of these people? Hello? Earth to young scholars. Malik? We could do it quicker without it having to add. What did we learn last week? What is the title of this file? Goal seek. Who remembers how we get to goal seek? How do we get to goal seek? It's all about the data, data, data. Remember? Data tab. What if analysis? We pick the middle one, goal seek. Right, Austin? As you were, coughing and sneezing last week, you were watching this live on Teams. Okay, so what do I want to set? What cell do I want to set? I'll give you a hint. It's already there. What cell do I want to set? D5. But let's make it an absolute just for the hell of it. No, why is it saying? Doesn't like us. There we go. So click the cell and it'll give you it as an absolute and delete the D5 that was already there. So unfortunate Drew. What do I put to value? Right? So what is it? Uh-oh, Owen beat you to it. 1633.75, which is our current total pay plus the $70 we're going to increase the payroll by. So whose pay do we want to change? 1,633.75. So it's our total pay plus $70, which Owen helped us calculate because unfortunate Drew was slacking. So who do we want to give the raise to? Mary's making the most already, so she's good. JJ, let's give it to Ed. You know, he's not making too much. So that is cell B2. And once you click on the cell, it makes it as an absolute. So it makes it easy for us. And now what, Johnny? Click OK, and what happens? The cell must contain a value? Is that what happens for everybody? No? What do you do, Austin? When you click OK, our cell now shows that initial payroll plus the $70. And now Ed, his pay went from $12 to $13.75. Pretty good, right? Austin? Okay, that's fine. It may just be that cell is set to 1 decimal instead of 2. Like when you click on it, it'll probably say 13.75, but it might just show up as 13.8. All right, so now let's see how big of a raise Ed got. Who remembers that from like months ago? What class was that? September 12th? Where we showed you how to calculate raises? No, even unfortunate Drew's like, I don't. So I just randomly put this in cell G15. You could put it wherever you want. But nobody remembers how to calculate the raise? Owen? Sort of. We do our new pay, which is $13.75, minus our old pay, which was what, JJ? 12, today's day. And then divided by the old pay, which was 12. Can you not see because of the glare, or you can't see in general? I can't see in general either, but I can't make the formula bar any bigger. Paul, can you see that? Are you blind like Jackie and I? You're colorblind? So what color hat am I wearing? Well, hat am I wearing? There we go. So what's the answer, Drew? What did you get? Point this?
Yeah.
So what do I have to do to make that a percentage? Do you remember? Times 100, or we could just format it, right?
Yeah.
So click back in, right click, format cells, percentage, 2 decimals, it's now 14.58%. The likelihood that Bree actually likes this class. Right? Right. And then go ahead and bold that. And we're now done with problem 1. Simple enough, right? Make sure you're like saving as you go through. Good. Mike, good. Matt, Suraj, good. Bree, good. Who are you helping them? Gabby, good. Misplaced. Oh. Yeah, there's 2 parts in the first one, so you have to put them around that. Remember your order of operations from like middle school? No? So if you did this without parentheses, you'd just be doing 13.75 minus 1. Because you're doing 13.75 minus 12 divided by 12. So what's 12 divided by 12, Bree? 1. So 13.75 minus 1 is not the right answer. Make sense? Order of operation. You do subtraction and division before addition and subtraction. Or no, division and multiplication before addition and subtraction. Don't get old. You forget things. Good, Gabby? Okay. Austin, Malik, good. Jackie, good. Riley, good. All right, so in problem 2, we're asked 2 different questions. Question 1 says what, Sam? What does question 1 say? Okay, so this is simple. We're just adding 30% to his current pay. What's the formula? Owen again. Okay? What's a simpler way to do it? Okay, that's fine. What's a simpler way? What? Golsey? No. You're multiplying a number by, in essence, 1 and also a 30% increase. What's the simpler way? Unfortunate Drew. What? That's if you're losing 30%. We're gaining 30%. Owen? 130%, which is represented what in numbers? Right. 10 times 1.3. Or you can do it the way Owen said. What's the answer, Austin? 13 buckaroos, right? Is that how much you make? You're not working right now? No? How do you take all these women out to dinner? Oh, that's right. You make them pay. I forgot. And you owe all them money that you refused to pay. That made like Riley kind of like screw this dude, right? Fake news. We just kind of used a fun example, Austin. I mean, like, I don't know. For all I know, you could not be into women. Like, I mean, it was just kind of like a funny anecdote, so people learned. Going forward, Riley, would you say that was probably something you'd remember? What? Like that in-class exercise, because we applied it to like real world situations. So now we bold that, because question 1 is now done. What do you make, Reeves? Is Toronto's like minimum wage different than New Jersey's? Probably.
I don't know what that is.
Well, not in New Jersey. Right now it's 13 bucks, I think, and then two, 3 weeks from today, it's bumped up to 14. It's Canadian, so it doesn't count as much. Actually, I think the Canadian dollar is like 97% of our dollar, right?
It was like 70 years.
Oh, it's gone down. All right, Austin. Since we pick on you so much, show us again. Read what we got to do for Queston too. Apparently, I can't spell in my old age. How many classes do you have today? Look at all this. You got like a pouch of all these writing utensils. Have I made you write anything in this class? That's what I'm asking. Like, you must have other classes today. You're not sure. I'll lob you a softball here. Hit it to whoever you want to tag in to help you out. Unfortunate truth. You don't know? Well, we'll let you pay. We'll let you play a little badminton, some shuttlecock, hit it over. Who do you want to bounce it off to? We start with 10. Where does 10 go? In D2? So we do equals 10? Is that right? I hope so. What's an easier way to do that? Already add them. And then what? Okay. And then what? By. Okay. And then what? No. Order of operations, remember? This will give us 11.5. 12.5 minus 10 divided by 10, which is 12.5 minus 1. What do you put on your ears? What do you put on your ears when it's cold out like today? Well, you put earmuffs on, but they look like parentheses. But yes, parentheses before the 12.5 and after the first B2. Now, what did I get, Johnny? 0.25? Is that a percentage? Sam says yes. Johnny says no. Drew, break the tie. Is that a percentage? No. So you're saying Sam is a liar. Apparently you don't. Oh, I'm just noticing Leo's not here. I wonder if he's that depressed that Brazil lost. He might be. All right, click back into the cell, right click, format cells, make it a percentage. So that it's 25%. So this way Austin like tries to entice a female young scholar to talk to him. You know, he might kind of be like, oh, look, I know how to use Excel. Here's how you format a cell. It's a percentage, not a number. Owen, question. You did what? And you didn't divide by the 10? Okay, so it might just be because I did 10 and 2.5 that it's 25%, right? I made it easy for you. In this instance, that works. Like if it was 11, that wouldn't work. What? It's up to you. But I'm just saying in general, like it works just because of the numbers we had this time, but like if it was 11 instead of 10, it probably wouldn't work. All right, so bold that, and we're now done with problem 2. Who wants to read our assumptions off for problem 3? Who hasn't done much today? Jackie, you're quiet today.
We have to do freshman year, second semester, English, or math, or be measuring gonna be. Number of first for these courses, 3 for English, Mandarin, 4 for math, physics. I got it wrong. First semester, you took 14 credits and had GPA of 2.92. We go with to get at least 215 GPA for the entire year, and you think your Mandarin teacher. What grade would you need in Mandarin in the second semester to get an overall GPA of 3.0?
That's a lot, right? Reminds you of yesteryear, way back in September, when you had to do assumptions, hated Excel because of that difficult exam, right? Drew, read the last 2 lines for that.
Note that the numeric component of an A equals 4, B equals 2, B plus 3, B equals 2, C plus equals 2.33, B equals 1. Don't use VLOOKUP to get the numeric grade component, enter the number values.
Okay. So who knows actually how to calculate their GPA on their own? Just Paul? Austin? Explain it to me. Pretend I'm stupid.
See,
So you just know how to put it in the GPA calc. I want to see this. Can I find it just simply Googling? Is that what you used? So let's just say 2701, 3 credits. Austin has probably like a B plus, A minus-ish. Yeah. And we hit calculate GPA. And his GPA is 3.33, right? Because he got a B plus. Does that match what I say? You know why this is calculated? Or how, rather? Jackie knows? You're bouncing up and down, shaking your head. How is this calculated? No, like your GPA. Don't know? Okay, well, I'm going to teach you. It has to do with what are called quality points. So you have 3 credits in this class, right? If you get an A, that's a 4.0 GPA for this class, right? So how many quality points do you have? Nobody knows how to do that? No? So it's the 3 credits multiplied by the 4 for an A gives you 12 quality points. They do that for every one of your classes. And then the quality points are added together and divided by how many credits you have. So if you have, what's the normal number of classes you take here a semester? 5 or 6? 6? 5? JJ says 5. Everybody else says 6. What's happening? What is it? What? The average is 5? So let's say that's 15 credits, right? How many quality points would you need for a 4.0, Riley? If you were taking 15 credits, how many quality points would you need for a 4.0? How many quality points? So we just saw here that Austin's GPA is a 3.33 in this class. Those two multiplied together are your quality points. Divided by the 3 tells us what his GPA is. But I'm saying the or the average of young scholars that they take per semester here is 15 credits, not 3. So how many quality points, those two multiplied together, would you need for a 4.0? It would be 15 times another number I just mentioned, gives you the number of quality points. Your brain is not working right now. You just want to get the hell away from me, get back home and be done with the semester, right? What number divided by a 4.0 gives you 15? 60. So you'd need 60 quality points out of your 15 credits to get a 4.0 GPA. Okay, so let's type in our info for that. So A, B plus, B, C plus, C, and D. That's all I have, right? And the next to them, 4, 3.33, 3, 2.33, 2, and 1, right? So now you can calculate your own GPA and kind of like yell at the registrar if it's not right. So say you got a bunch of B pluses, unfortunate Drew. You'd have 15 credits, right? So what's 15 times 3.33? So then you divide that by 15 and you get 3.33 as your GPA. Now it's very unlikely you have the same exact grade in every class, obviously, which is why they do this. Everybody got these typed in? Yes, no, maybe so. Right, so leave column C empty. And in column D, let's type in our classes. English, Mandarin, math, and physics. Anybody speak Mandarin and could actually just go up to this professor and demand an A? Nobody? JJ, do you speak Mandarin? No? What do you speak? English? What are they? Punjabi? So that's what got you into wrestling? The great Kali? The Punjabi giant? And later the Punjabi playboy? He was like Austin back in the day. But he was 7'4" and 300 pounds, so yeah, I would say. And then his like cousin like lost every match in his life and then got on steroids and they made him a champion. And everybody kind of flipped out. Yeah, so back to actual things that matter. What do we want to type in column E, Drew? What did we get in these classes?
C plus.
Okay, C plus. Mandarin, we got a B. Math, we got the B plus. And physics, we got a B. So English is C plus, Mandarin is B. Math is B plus, physics is B. Or as Austin would say, BITM 2701 is B. That's one way of phrasing it. How would you phrase it? You hate me because I constantly pick on you? What do we need in column F, Johnny? We're only allowed to change one of these, remember? You think you can get your Mandarin teacher to raise your grade? Okay, what do we do first? We have to put some numbers there. That's one number. We need to put numbers for each of these. Number of credits. So English and Mandarin are 3 each. And math and physics are 4 each. They probably have a lab or something. Okay. So now we've, set that up to some degree. Now what do we want to do? We still got assumptions we gotta do. What are we doing here? Euler. So let's put in B7, total credits. And in C7, how many credits do we have? $14. Thank you, unfortunate Drew. Somebody's paying attention. All right, so how do I calculate the quality points? Nobody remembers? Yep. So for English, in cell G1, we're going to multiply our 3 credits times, what's a C plus over here? What do we pick? We pick B4, 2.33, because that's what our GPA for a C plus is. What answer do I get, Bree? 0.999? Now what do I do for Mandarin? We select our number of credits, this time F2, and multiply it by what? Allie, which one? B3. We got a B in Mandarin. So we have a 3.00 GPA for that class. Now what's the answer I got, Bree? 9. 3 times 3 is 9. Unfortunate Drew. What do I do for math? Equals our number of credits 4 times whatever the B plus is, which is B2. So a B plus is a 3.33 GPA. How many quality points do I get for math, JJ? 13.32. You notice because it's 4 credits and not 3, that it's more. Make sense? All right, Matt, you have been quiet back there. You do the last one. Yep. We got a B in physics too. So it's the same as we did for Mandarin. B3. And what's the number? 12 instead of 9. Because we have 4 credits, not 3. So now what? Gabby, do you know what to do now? Add them up and divide by 4? Why 4? There's 4 classes, but how many credits are there? 14, yep. So whatever way you want to do it, you total them up. You get 41.31. And if we want to find out our current GPA, we do it off to the side here somewhere. It's that number divided by 14. So our current GPA is 2.95. Pretty good, right? That's almost a B. Sam, you'd live with that, right? A 2.95 GPA. Eh? Eh? What are you shooting for? A 3 at least? Now that I'm looking at my notes, I think I just calculated this for this semester. Not the cumulative for the year, so whatever. All right, so click back to cell. Actually put that formula into cell G6, not off to the side where I had it. So it's right below it like that. So how do we know? We got to do something with our Mandarin grade to get our GPA up to 3.15. How do we know? What do we do? JJ? Full seek. Who remembers what tab I clicked to get it? JJ? Data. What if full seek? So what 3 parts do I need? Got to change the GPA to something by changing something. JJ again. F3. Why are we changing F3? We have to change our GPA. G6 to what? We're setting our cell G6 to a value, which is what? I gave it to you. 3.15. By changing what? G2? F2? Somebody want to throw out the right answer? G2? E2? Oh.
G6.
What'd you say, unfortunate Drew? G5. Oops, make sure you click inside by changing cell first. We got to change the number of quality points, which in turn changes our GPA. Once we do that, then we can know what we need in our Mandarin class. Cell must contain a value? Um, see if you just get rid of the absolute cell references, if that does anything. No. You put absolutes and it worked? You put in F2 and it worked. Why would you put in F2? F2 is the number of credits though. Right, let's do this. Copy the formula from G5 to H5 and just type in 4131 in G5. Let's see if that works. Move your formula over to H5 and just leave the number there in G5. Oops. So we're changing G6 to 3.15 by changing G5 and hoping that it works this time. Yay, it worked that time. It did for me. Is that a nice little workaround? It worked.
Write it in and then.
So move the formula over to H5 and then just type it in,
Okay.
like the 41.31. So you'll see it changed our GPA to 3.15, so bold that. And our quality points to 44.1, so bold that. Why? Just type in G5, 41.31. And then in the one below it, it's G5 divided by 14. So the first one, you do set G6 to 3.15 by changing G5. Drew?
How do you copy the first?
So you would just click in the formula bar here, highlight it, press Control X, and then go to the cell next to it, go back in the formula bar and do Control V. Everybody else got it but Reeves? Who wants to be a doll and help Reeves? Johnny? No, it's not working for you? Uh-oh, Bree wants to help Reeves.
I got your.
Uh, Sorry. So all I did was take the formula I had in G5 and move it over to H5 and just typed in here the 41.31. Nothing was changed to G6 in the formula. When I did the data, what if goal seek, I just selected our GPA, which is G6, true value 3.15 by changing cell G5. And when I clicked OK, they both changed. This changed to 3.15 like we told it to. And the other one changed the quality number of points to tell us what's required for the 3.15. So now we got to do the last part. What grade do we need in Mandarin? So how do I do that? How do I find out what grade I need in Mandarin? There's two steps. I'm forever blowing bubbles. Nobody knows? You need to find out how many additional quality points we need. So you subtract our 44.1 minus what we had initially, our 41.31. What do I get, Austin? 2.79. So what do we have to add the 2.79 to? Where does that get added to? Mike? G2. Yes. So in H2, add G2 and wherever you put the 2.79 formula. And what do you get, Mike? 11.79. What does that tell us? What's the only grade we could get in Mandarin to get us to that GPA then? Well, is 9.99 less than or greater than 11.77? Less than. So it can't be a B plus. What's the only possibility? Ethan? Okay. So I subtracted our 44.1 minus the 41.31 to see how many extra quality points we needed. Riley, what's the only grade? A. The only thing that'll give us higher than 11.79 is 4 times 3, right? 3 credits and A is 4. If we only got a B plus, that would be 3 times 3.39, which is this 9.99, right? Drew, you have a question?
Can you just go over the goals?
Okay. So initially we had here just typed in 41.31, and this was 2.95. So when I clicked what if goal seek, I select G6 where our GPA is. I do to value and type in 3.15, which as you can see on my screen, change that to 3.15 by changing cell G5, which right now should just have on your screen 41.31 that you typed in. And then when you click OK, it changes both of those cells.
It says cell must.
Cell must contain a value. Do you have a formula in G6?
Oh, yeah. I had like
G5. For G5, you're just typing this, 41.31 in a G5. For G6, though, it's G5 divided by 14. Where? All right, so put the letter A somewhere near Mandarin and bold it, because that's our answer. And we're 75% done of goal seek. Allie's excited, right? You hate this. No? Who's had accounting classes or finance classes? Have you used this before? Just Jackie? Who else said yes? You did? In what class? With who? And you guys didn't learn that with your other person who's teaching it? Sam and who else? JJ was talking about that at the beginning of class? Whoever you have for financial accounting didn't teach you goal seek? Oh. Who did you have? Pincus? Pinto? Like the car? Like the bean? Yeah, you're too young to know the car. What other classes might you have learned this in? Like math? You learn this in business stats? I don't think they've had business stats. Anybody else have had business stats? Bree probably took it just because, right? Business stats? No? You took this class just because, right? Because your roommate told you I was awesome and looked nice, maybe? No, right? She just said, no, he's a good professor. He's not easy on the eyes. All right, problem 4, Reeves, you tell us the assumptions for this one.
I have a company that sells only one product. I sell 1,000 units of the product each year. Currently, the price of the product is $5 per unit. There are 3 costs to make the product: raw materials, labor, and administration. Currently, the raw materials is $2,500 a year. Labor cost is $2,000 a year. Administration is $500 a year. Starting next month, raw materials going up 5%, labor is going up 12%, and administration is going up 4%. How much do I have to raise my current selling price now at $5 so that I break even?
You do this in financial accounting, break even? You do this in business stats, break even? Jackie? No? Nobody's ever done a break even analysis? What the hell are they teaching you here? Don't finance or accounting classes? What about economics? You were all complaining about economics at the beginning of class. No, they didn't even mention that there? Allie, what's your major? Accounting? Management? Do they at least like mention break even? Like they probably don't go through like formulas for it. Who can tell me what break even is? JJ. Right. So Austin spends, 15 bucks taking Riley out to dinner. What should happen next time? You should pay for like $15. Austin would probably be the guy who would like take you out to like McDonald's and, oh yeah, here's 15 bucks for a meal. And then you're like, oh, let's go to this nice Italian restaurant. And it's like 25 bucks a meal. Probably right? You could see that, right? So break even is that point where you're just about positive. So what number is just about positive, Austin? Here? In life, it's a small number. What is it? 0, right? If you have a 0, you broke even. You threw 20 bucks out the window, like Elaine did to Jerry Seinfeld, and then Jerry picks up a coat from his closet reaches into the pocket and there's 20 bucks in it. He broke even. And they don't teach you in accounting or finance? No? Owen, have you heard of it? Okay. Yeah, so let's type in some stuff. Units, price, materials, labor, admin. So what did Reeves tell us? There's 1,000 units. So that'll be for both instances. We have a price of $5 per unit. So put that in for both. Materials is 2,500. Labor is 2,000. And administrative is 500. Everybody got that? These are all the assumptions from right here. Lines 14 through 17 I've done so far. Okay? Suraj, our raw material is going up by 5%. So in our second instance, what is our raw materials cost? So our B3 times 1.1. Yep. We're going up 5%. So 1.05 represents an increase of 5%. If we were decreasing by 5%, what would it be instead of 1.05? 3. If we were decreasing it by 5%, what would we multiply B3 by? Instead of 1.05, it would be
95.
0.95. Very good. But since we're increasing by 5%, we're going up. What do we get, Johnny? $2,625, which is $125 more, right? Simple. So now we're told that labor is going up 12%. So how do I calculate that, Paul? $1.1. Yep. So you do equals. We select our $2,000 for our first example labor. We multiply it by 1.12, which is our labor is going up 12%. Now, what answer did you get, Chris? $2,240, if that's a number, looks right. Yeah. 2,240. Okay, so admin, we're bumping up by 4%. Malik, you want to take that one? Yep. It's our initial $500 from the admin cost times 1.04. We're going up by 4%. Riley, what'd you get? $520? Sounds about right. If they show up as percentage, just format them to be currency. So they're all more, they're going up, right? So all three of them are more expensive than our initial. So we're done with that now for the moment. Now we got to total our costs. How do we do this? Sum. Yeah, we just add some stuff together. Now what do we add, Bree? What do we add, Bree? What do we add? We just want costs. What? There's only 3 of those 5 numbers that are costs. Our materials cost, our labor's cost, and our admin cost. Units is not a number. It's not a currency. It's a number. Okay. And then we close our parentheses, and what's the number we got, Owen? 5,000. And then instead of auto-filling down, autofill that across. So this way we have the total for our increased prices too, which is 5,385. Not bad, right? You're spending an extra 385. That's not horrible. That's probably a month of Austin owing female young scholars dinner dates, right? Give or take. Yeah. Sounds about right. A McDonald's meal these days is what, like $12? So 385 times, divided by 30. It sounds about right. Throw in the tax. Austin probably brutalized me on the evaluation. This jerk off's always talking about my social life. It's literally like 20 minutes of every class. All right, so now, Bree, in B7, what do we do? Since you wanted to use B1 and B2 so much. Yeah, how? What? Why would we add that? Multiply, yeah. We want to see how much money we make from our 1,000 units. So we multiply our 1,000 times our $5, which gives us what? 5,000. And now what? No assumptions, no guesses? Yep, we autofill that over to the other column. Now what? Why don't you just tell me the answer? We subtract them. B6 minus B7. What do we get, Austin? What's 5,000 minus 5,000? 0. So what did we do? We broke even. Yay! And And now we do what? Autofill it over to the right. So now we're losing $385, right? We're only making $5,000, but our cost is $385 greater, right? So now, what do we have to do to see how much we have to raise our current selling price to break even? JJ. Goal seek, yay! All right, so data, what if analysis, goal seek. So you want to change sell 3.8 for $385 to what? 0. We want to see what we do to break even. Well, what cell do we have to change in order to do that? Mike again? C2. Everybody see why? We have to see what we're changing our price to in order to break us even. So right now it's $5. We're losing $385. The women that Austin date may be okay with that, but most of us don't want to lose $385, right? Other Austin, you don't want to lose $385, right?
No.
That might pay for some books next semester, right? Or you might be able to get some presents for the holidays, right? You'll keep it for yourself? Oh, okay, at least he's honest. Might want to put it toward a PS5 or something, right? Savings, okay. Austin would just like go to like some hotel or something. Hey, who wants to join me? Right? One possibility. I should do that in like classes. Here's $100. What would you do with this? What do you think would happen, Austin? Depends on who I ask. Apparently, the other Austin would just put it in the savings. What would you do with $100? There's a lot of things. What would Johnny do with $100? You don't know? You wouldn't just like buy a couple new hats or something? Clothes? Hat? Reeves would probably go to a Raptors game, right? All right, what happened when I clicked OK? What comes out to $0 now? The bottom? What about the top one? 539. I don't know what you did either, because I didn't even click OK yet. What did you do? You just change your, you click C8, 385, change it to 0, so we break even. So we want to change the $5. Got to see what we got to charge to break even. So when we click OK, we get 539. See? And now we broke even. And bold that 539. And guess what? Save it, submit it. Hopefully you get the 50 out of 50 on it. What did you do? Austin, help him. Gave it all like 5 million?
No.
Why? Is it set as currency? Help him, Gabby. My eyes can't go through Bree's head and into his laptop. I wasn't saying you had a big head, Bree. I'm just saying, I'm, you know. So help him. We're making unfortunate Drew help him. That's okay. See, it says 5.385. Because we set it as currency 2 decimals, it just rounds it up. This goal seek is done if you did everything I just went through and didn't have any issues. Drew, question?
To the third one.
The third one,
Yeah.
the Mandarin?
How did you get? Seven.
All I did was add the 9 that we had already with the 2.79, which was the difference between what we had in quality points and what we needed in quality points. And that told us that we could only get an A to get the 3.15. Because a B plus didn't give us, the B plus would be 9.99, not as big as 11.7. Okay, so you would submit that into Excel homework 5 when you're done with that and ready. Like I said, you technically have until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. to do it. But like I said, if you kind of get it done, I can grade it. You can know who to bother about points and so on and so forth. We're still only at 82%. I know. What?
I submitted a blank file again, back. I don't know why that always happens.
Everybody close your eyes. I'm serious, close your eyes. Okay, you can open them.
Then when I press OK, it does that. It just leaves it at that.
So keep playing with it until you get what you're supposed to. And if it doesn't give you anything by the time we're done and you want to submit it, put like a note, like, oh, this won't work. Unfortunate Drew.
Yeah, so when you do this, like running through like different.
Okay, keep playing with it. Why not? And that's Paul's?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like 1 point negative 1.6, no way.
That's probably what you got.
Yeah.
So try it like 2 or 3 more times and then just kind of put a note. Hey, professor, this didn't work. Still give me credit or something to those effects. All right, so everybody else is good with that. We can go on to Excel homework 6 and pivot tables. So download the pivot file. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sort of kind of hard things to do. And then 4 somewhat simple things to do. Who wants to be our designated reader so I don't have to keep switching back and forth between Blackboard and the file. Unfortunate, Drew, this probably doesn't even matter towards your grade. You want to be the designated reader? Okay. So make sure you have the data worksheet open. Because that's basically the majority of what we're going to use. All right, unfortunate, Drew, lead us off. Okay. What do I do? Who remembers the two buttons I have to hit from last week? Nobody remembers? Ree, do you remember?
No.
No, you don't remember the two buttons I hit to get a pivot table to pop up?
Insert.
Insert's the first one. Yeah, very good. Insert tab and then pivot table. Table range is just A through F, which might already be highlighted for you in your table range. Yes, it's already highlighted? Okay, so do we want a new worksheet or existing worksheet, unfortunate Drew? New worksheet, okay? So all we gotta do now is click OK. Now what's it want the new worksheet called? Okay, so click sheet 1, rename. Part A. All right. Now what does it want us to do? What were the revenues for each city in 2002? So this data is just for 2002. So what two things do I need from the pivot table fields? Where and revenue. So where gives us all the cities. Revenue gives us the total sum of revenue. That's all it asks for, right? Unfortunate, Drew? Yep, all right. So we're done with A. You save that. Where did I get the what? Don't you have a Mac? No? And you don't have row labels?
No, like, I don't like London.
Yeah, that doesn't show up at all? What did you do? Okay, go back to Paul and help him. Okay, you're off the hook then, Sam. So we're done with 1A, right? We all renamed it Part A, right? All right, so click back to the data tab, worksheet or tab. And what's 1B? Tell us, unfortunate Drew.
What are the revenues for each city in 2002 for water, catalog?
Okay, so again, insert, pivot table. Ideally, it has all your data highlighted already. If not, you'd highlight A through F column. And we want new worksheet, we click OK. And what's it want to be named? So right click sheet 2, rename to part B. Okay. Riley, what does it say we need? Okay, the how is one of them. What else? I'll give you a hint. We used them in the last one. Who shot who in the what now? Where, how, and revenue for this one. The last one was just where and revenue. This time we're asked how. What does it say, unfortunate Drew? What was the reason we wanted how? Okay, so the how is how we're selling this stuff. So we want where to give us the city, how to show us where it's being sold or how it's being sold, and revenue to tell us what we're making. So obviously, wow, that's weird. I would have thought the web sales would have been more, but apparently the in-store sales are more. Free question? Where, how, and revenue. Yeah, because they're already in that kind of order. Because where is your city? How is your catalog store web? Revenue is what expands it. Everyone good? We can go on to part C. Medicare Part C. Tell us, unfortunate Drew, what do we need to do? Okay? So insert pivot table. Same thing. It should automatically be highlighted. Your table you need, new worksheet, but if not, highlight A through F. Click OK, and it wants to be named what, unfortunate Drew? Part C. So we right click our sheet 4, rename it Part C. And what does it want? Okay, so we need where, our city. We need how for store, web, and whatever. We need revenue, obviously. What was the other part? So we need the products, which is what? Which is what, Austin? What? Which is what, Austin? What? What? Yeah. So in this one, we need where, what, how revenue. Make sense? The what is the products here. So we again do it in order. Where, what, how, and then revenue. Good? Just have to click some buttons so far. It's not like the next one where it's difficult. All right, unfortunate Drew. Keep us going. Okay. So insert pivot table. Again, make sure you have the right data selected, new worksheet. And it wants to be called Part D. So we rename Part D. And it wants London Compass Web, right? So we need where, what, how, And what, read it again, unfortunate Drew? So this time, instead of revenue, we want quantity. But that gives us a bunch of crap for everything, right? Where, what, how, and quantity. But we're not done yet. See that little caret next to where? When you click it, you get this little pop-up. We need to do what city, unfortunate Drew? London. So unselect all and just select London. Okay? What happens when you click OK? Gets rid of all the other countries. Cities, cities. When the heck is New York a country? You're lucky I'm such a nice guy. Other professors would have butchered you for that. What? Drew, what? Compasses, okay? So click the caret next to what? Unselect everything and just select compass. And when you click OK for that, what happens? Camel saddle, boots, elephant polo stick, all of the other ones disappear. And now how? We just want web. So in the caret next to how, we deselect all and just select web. What happens then? We just have web. So we sold 9 compasses online in London in 2020, in 2002. Probably a lot more these days, right? Bam. Done with part D. All right, unfortunate Drew. We got 2 more of these parts. The average number of hammocks in each city in 2002. Okay, so insert pivot table. Same as the last 3 or 4. And it wants to be named what? Rename part E. And it wants the average for the hammocks in each city, right? So we want where, which is our cities, what to give us our hammocks, and read it again. All right, so quantity. And since we're only looking for hammocks, right? We click the caret next to what? We deselect all and just select hammocks, which knocks everything off like camel, saddle, compass. Just hammocks should show up. Are we done? You were right the first time. So we're currently saying these are the sums of how many hammocks were sold in each city. Read it again, unfortunate Drew. We want the average. So see how down the bottom where it says values, sum of quantity? Click on the caret next to that and select value field settings. And instead of sum, we select average. And then click OK. And it gives you the average. Make sense? Good, yes, no? So that is part E. All right, so we have one last part of those pivot tables, right? Unfortunate Drew? All right, how do we do it? All right. So insert pivot table, new worksheet, table range, and it's part what?
Yeah.
Rename it to part F. And it wants to know how much revenue we have each month. Okay, so what do we do? What's the first thing listed there for fields, Ally? We need when. That's our months. What else? The revenue. Simple enough, right? That's part F. All right. 4 more things to do, and then you escape my clutches and enjoy the rest of the day. All right, unfortunate Drew, what's number 2? Okay. So who knows how to do that? No idea? No idea? Paul? Insert sheet? We're copying one. That little caret thing between A and 1. We're copying a whole sheet, not just like a section. There's a simpler way, Paul. Click on the data worksheet. That's what we're copying, right? Unfortunate Drew? Yeah. Right click it. Move or copy. We're in the middle. Move or copy. How do you not have it? You right click the worksheet data. Oh, and then click where it says before sheet, select data, and then create a copy. So once you click OK, another copy of it comes up and it'll say like data 2 or something, or data 1 maybe. Data 2? Unfortunate Drew, what? You have to select data first. Yep. Because if you select the wrong worksheet, it creates a copy of the wrong worksheet. Riley, you're good? Sam, good? No, how far behind are you? Right click the data worksheet, select move or copy. Then select the data worksheet from the list and click the check mark next to create a copy and then click OK. And you get a new worksheet, data 2. What does it say to rename it, unfortunate Drew? Okay? So right click, rename, date sort. And what does it want us to do? We did that. Okay. So where's our dates? What column? What column's the dates in, Ally? A. So click on column A. Click our A to Z with the fan. And click sort oldest to newest. You get the warning. Expand the selection, click OK, because that makes everything change to match oldest to newest. With the pop-up, it's going to say expand the selection. That's okay. This A to Z button with the fan next to it is sort. Click the caret next to it and select oldest to, or yeah, oldest to newest, I guess. The one that says A to Z. And then this sort warning pops up and just click OK, or sort rather. And what happens, JJ? It sorts the dates. So the oldest one, January 3rd, 2002 is first. And you go down and the most recent one, whatever it was, 11/28 or whatever. Yeah, whatever the most recent one is the last one. And that's date sort. All right, 3 more to go. What's next? Okay. So again, click the data worksheet, right click it, move or copy. Create a copy of the data worksheet, select it, click the check mark by create a copy, click OK. And then when the new version comes up, we rename it what, unfortunate Drew? So right click, rename, Paris. Simple enough, right? And what does it want us to do, unfortunate Drew? Only display what? Okay. So where is Paris located? What column, Allie? B. So click column B, click the A to Z with the fan next to it. And this time we want to use the fan, the filter. So what do we do, Reeves?
Sorry, I'm. Column B, and then this one you put the fan, the filter.
The fan that says filter, yep. What do we need to do now?
Custom and then Paris only.
Custom and then Paris only. Okay. Does it give you only Paris? Or not?
Sort A to Z.
No, it's filter. You have no idea your thing's not working. Suraj? Click the caret next to where. Deselect them all, and then only select Paris. Gabby's favorite country. Have you been to Paris, France? No, do you want to go there? Low key? I'm more than twice your age, remember? Is low key like the new on the down low? Sure.
Wait, how do you?
Did you go to the A to Z and click the fan and do filter? If you did that, then you get the carrot. Unselect them all and only select Paris. So this way, when you click OK, Tokyo, London, New York, what are the other ones? Sydney, they all disappear, like so. It's all just Paris. Good? All right, two more, and then you get to escape me. Unless you want to take my web class next fall. Riley's so excited for that. She heard all these good things from Rob, like the free food and the Seinfeld episodes and the lack of homework. All right, unfortunate Drew, what are we gonna do? Okay. So right click on the data worksheet again, move or copy again. You might have to scroll down to select data this time and create a copy again. And you get the new copy and it wants it to be named what, unfortunate Drew? Top 10. So right click, rename top 10. And it wants us to do what? Okay, so what column is revenue in? Drew, what column? F. So click on F. We go back to our A to Z and our little fan. And what do we have to do from here, Johnny? Custom filter, the little fan. And we get the carrot again, right? So when we click the carrot, instead of just picking one of the revenues like we did with Paris, we have to use number filters. So how do I get the number filters? Owen? Just scroll over number filters. And it gives us a bunch of different ones. And we want to use top 10 because that's what the instructions say, right? But do we keep it like this, top 10 items? No, right? What did unfortunate Drew tell us? What's the top 10 of? Percent of revenues. So click the caret next to items and change it to percent. And why are you going to have more than 10 results? Potentially. Gabby? Okay. And there might be ties. You know, something might have, you know, the same revenue. So percent, top 10% instead of top 10 items. And then okay. And it knocks off some of the results. Does anybody know why they're blue on the side? No? Because technically there's another way we could have done this where we just right click and go row by row and do what's called hide. But obviously this is much easier, right? We might have had to hide 485 different random rows in this worksheet. Very hard to do that, right? And that's top 10. All right, unfortunate Drew, take us home. We got one last thing to do. Okay, so that was the dates worksheet, correct? Okay, so you see there in the dates worksheet, average number of days between sales, it says, right? And then next to it, there's that empty G31 for something to put there. So what do I have to do first? Are the dates in order? Nope. Owen, what do I gotta do? Sort the dates in column A. Select column A. Go up to our A to Z with the fan for the sort. And we do oldest to newest. Why do we do that, Bree? Why do we do that, Bree? Look at unfortunate Drew's screen where the instructions are. Yeah. So if you have it set up like this, 11/30/2002 and 10/20/2002, that's backwards, right? That's behind us. That's not in the future, right? So we do sort oldest to newest. And now we know, okay, there's 13 days between that. There's whatever days between that, and it goes sequentially, right? Because we want to calculate an average. Makes it easier for us, right? So in cell G3, type in equals A3 minus A2. What does that do? Anybody know? Owen? Finds the number between our 2 days, which we're going to use to do our average. So what's the answer you got when you hit enter, Chris? 2? You're on the never mind. Riley, what's the answer? 13. Now what do I do? Gabby? Autofill it down. So now we have the number of days between each of these days. Now what? Owen? So in cell G1, we now type in equals average, open parenthesis, and then highlight G3 all the way down to G28. Everywhere we have numbers. So what's the average? What'd you get? 12.65385? 12.36? That sounds like a commercial song. 12.65385. About 13 days in between sales, right? Could any of you live off of that? Going almost 2 weeks in between selling things? No? If that was like your only revenue? No? Paul, you could? What do you sell? So maybe, like if you're selling like $300 shoes, maybe you could get away with, only doing it once every 13 days. Now what, Drew? We got one last thing to do before we're done. What did we do for most of the other answers? Go ahead, take a guess. We made it something that made it darker. Bold it, yep. So just make that bold. And we're now done with Excel homework 6, pivot tables. Make sure you save it, submit it. And unfortunately, you now miss me until I'm back here in January, right? You'll probably all be coming by. I missed your class so much. Can I sit in for 2 seconds and just say hi? Johnny will be like, no, the hell with that. Austin,
I was putting in the numbers, hundred and negative. Like for the average number of which group sales. I did 4.653 for the average.
and you made sure to sort these,
Yeah,
and you started on G3, right?
yes,
And this number just says it's negative?
yeah, it says the
Is your first date January 25th?
yes,
And you did A3 minus A2? Okay. All right, young scholars, then I will bid you farewell and good luck.
Sorry,